Okay, look at number 2. Here's my disclaimer. If you are coming from having Miss Waller for Algebra 2, she does slide and divide. I don't understand it. So I'm just going to let you know that I will never do that because it confuses me. But you can do it if you'd like, okay? So if I do, you're going to always see me do factoring by grouping because I don't understand slide and divide. I mean, I understand it, but I also just hate it. But you can do it, okay? You have my blessing. I just don't get it. I will do factoring by grouping. You don't have to write that down. You can do slide and divide. Great. Thank you. But just also don't ask me for help on slide and divide because I don't get it. Okay, we're going to look at this one. Number 2, does it have a GCF? No. 6, 11, 4. No, it does not. So now you're going to multiply A times C, 6 times 4. And since it has 3 terms, we know we got to play the X game. 6 times 4 is 24. And we are adding to the B term, negative 11. I think it might start out the same. I'm not really sure. Okay. And then you got to think to yourself, what are my 2 numbers that multiply to 24 and add to negative 11? You got it, negative 3 and negative 8. Great. Love it. Remember, you are replacing the B term. So this is factoring by grouping. So I'm going to replace the middle term. And wait a second, why do I have to do this way? Why can't I just go right to parentheses? Because the A value is 6, it's not 1. So I can't just put it in parentheses and be done. Oh, we'd love to do that. Not allowed to. Okay, so 6x squared minus 3x minus 8x. What am I doing? I'm replacing the middle term. You can see I highlighted it in red. Okay, I'm replacing the middle and then plus 4. Now what? Split. You take the GCF of both sides. The first half you should always be able to take a variable out of. Okay, so 6x squared and 3x. What's my GCF? My greatest common factor. 3x. When I divide that out, and if it helps you, you can always show the division. I think that's a little extra for me, but if it helps you, it's your paper, so do it. We're just trying to be successful. Okay, and then the second half, what's my GCF? Negative 4. Okay, do you see how that first term, the 8 is negative? Then you need to take out a negative because we never want our first term in the parentheses to be negative. Okay? If I divide that out, again, if it helps you, you can write out divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4. And you get positive 2x minus 1. This is the magical moment you're waiting for because if your parentheses match, 2x minus 1, 2x minus 1, you know that you've done this correctly. You can cheer and celebrate because then you should be done. You just got to take your GCFs and put them together. 3x minus 4. And then the one that you see I have in blue, 2x minus 1, that's the same. When you're done, you just need to check and make sure, is there any other GCFs that I can factor out of this? No, I don't think so. Great. The last one we'll do together is number 4. Again, step 1, is there a GCF? So much GCF. What is it? 6x squared. Okay. Again, if it helps you, you can divide by that, show the division, because sometimes it helps my students, so you divide the numbers but then subtract the exponents. You do you. It's up to you. You don't have to show that. And then divide it out, and we get 6x squared divided by 6x squared is 1. Negative 18 divided by 6 is negative 3. And I subtract my exponents here, x squared. Oops. All right, at this step, this is where you would then need to check. How many terms is that? 1 minus 3x squared is 2 terms. So then you would check and see, okay, is that difference of squares or is that perfect cubes? 1's a perfect square. Is 3 a perfect square?
No, but 3x.
So close, but so far. No, it's not. If it was a 9, we could carry on, but it's not. So we're going to go ahead and say no and be done.